Hello everyone and welcome to today's Wild Rift video. Today I'm going to be giving you the complete beginner's guide for the new Wild Rift champion Bard. Bard is a unique playmaking support. He's one of the most versatile and powerful roaming supports in the game. Bard is a champion that has the highest carry potential. With his pick potential and utility, you can make a huge difference in teamfights. However, one misplaced ultimate and you can also lose the fight, so timing and aiming your abilities will be crucial. Bard's passive is Traveler's Call. During the game, chimes will spawn around the map, and when Bard collects these chimes, he'll gain bonuses, including out of combat movement speed, experience, and maximum mana. And these chimes will remain on the map for 10 minutes, which gives you plenty of time to roam around and collect these chimes. Bard also has Meeps that follow him around every few seconds. Meeps empowers Bard's basic attacks and grant additional effects based on the number of chimes you have collected. When you have 3 chimes, he slows enemies for a second. When he has 9 chimes, he strikes in an area around and behind the target, dealing AoE damage. And when at 27 chimes, he strikes in an even larger area. And collecting chimes also increases the maximum number of meeps that follows Bard and also increases the slow effect. So collecting these chimes is crucial for playing Bard in Wild Rift. And also with the meeps, they actually count as an extra stack towards certain runes. For example, Electrocute, when you auto attack when you have a meep following you, this will count as 2 stacks. Your auto attack will be the first stack, your meep will count as your second stack, meaning that you only need to land your first ability to proc the extra damage from Electrocute. Bard's Q is Cosmic Binding, where Bard fires an energy bolt in a straight line, dealing magic damage to the first enemy hit and slowing them for a few seconds. The bolt then continues onwards behind the enemy for a short distance, and if it hits a second enemy or a wall, both enemies will be stunned. This works on minions, monsters, and objectives, so you can use this to your advantage to stun enemies behind minions. Bard's second ability is Caretaker's Shrine, where Bard creates a health shrine that grows and powers up to maximum efficiency after 5 seconds. These health shrines grant a flat amount of movement speed, which doesn't get affected by how long the health shrine has been on the map, and also restores health. This health gets doubled after the health shrine exists for 5 seconds. There are 2 different ways that you can use Caretaker's Shrine. The first is by using it behind you and waiting for the maximum efficiency to heal up yourself or an allied champion, or you can use this underneath yourself or an allied champion to give them movement speed, which is actually a lot more beneficial than you might think. Bard's third ability is Magical Journey, where Bard can open a one-way corridor through nearby terrain for a few seconds. Both allied champions and enemy champions nearby can use the corridor by tapping the turret button. Allied champions will travel 50% faster than enemies, but make sure if you're on the same team as a Bard, you use this magical journey instead of using Flash. The amount of times I've seen people use Flash to escape instead of following me with Magical Journey is absolutely crazy. And when playing Bard, when you travel through with Magical Journey, if enemies follow you, you can then use your first ability, Cosmic Binding, to stun enemies up against the terrain. And lastly, Bard's ultimate is Tempered Fate, which hurls a huge AoE projectile, placing all enemies and structures within into stasis for a few seconds. And while in stasis, these allied champions, enemies, turrets, minions, monsters, they are all going to be invulnerable, untargetable until the ultimate ends. This is the make or break ability for Bard. Use this at the start of a team fight to try and stun enemy champions. And when you put them into stasis, when timed correctly, when they come out of stasis, you can use Cosmic Binding to stun them for a further few seconds. However, when missing this ultimate or using it on an allied champion by accident, this can actually break the game for you and actually lose the game. For combos, you want to start with your ultimate Tempered Fate. Then use your Magical Journey to go towards enemy champions, and then when they come out of stasis from your ultimate, you then want to use your Cosmic Binding. This will stun enemy champions in place and allow you to follow up with your auto attacks to deal the maximum amount of damage. For your leveling order, you want to start off at level 1 with your first ability. With your Meeps following you and your first ability, you'll be able to proc Electrocute early on during the laning phase, making you the strongest level 1 champion in the game. Then you want to level up your second ability, so you can use this for either movement speed or help you sustain throughout the laning phase, and then go for your third ability. Then you want to max your first ability first, followed by your second ability, and then your third ability, making sure that you level up your ultimate when available. Since Bard is such a versatile champion, you can build him in many different ways. You can build him more of a tank, or you can build him as a carry. For me, I much prefer to build Bard as a carry, because you can make a bigger impact during fights and deal more damage with your first ability and your auto attacks. To start things off, of course, you want to go for your support item. I much prefer Relic Shield over the other two support items, but you can also go Ancient Coin if you don't want to risk auto attacking with your Meeps and losing out on damage. But Relic Shield just helps you last hit minions, but also helps you push minion waves at the same time, allowing you to roam around the map and collect chimes throughout the game. For boots, I really like Boots Lucidity, and in general, I really like Ability Haste. Lowering the cooldown of abilities such as your third ability, your second ability, and even your first ability as well is going to be crucial to allow you to make plays and roam around the map. The first item, I have Imperial Mandate. After you collect 5 chimes, which honestly happens very quickly with Bard, you'll be able to slow with your auto attacks, which is going to proc Imperial Mandate's passive. On top of that, you also have your first ability, which is also going to proc Imperial Mandate's passive. So it's going to allow you to deal more damage with your auto attacks and your abilities. On top of that, it gives you great stats as well, including HP, ability power, and ability haste. Crown of Shattered Queen is another great item which gives you a lot of ability power, maximum mana, and also ability haste. The one main reason why I love Crown of Shattered Queen is for the Safeguard passive. Bard is a very aggressive champion at times where you want to use your magical journey to engage forward, use your ultimate, and then try and stun enemy champions with your first ability. So having that Safeguard spell shield in your back pocket means that you might not get caught by something like an Ash Arrow, a Zyra Root, a Nautilus knockup, anything like that. It will be there as your protection point throughout the game. Then after that, there are many different items that you can go for. I, of course, have Liandry's, which in general is going to be a very strong item, especially against tanks. You can also go Ocean's Trident if you're against a lot of shielding. You can go Morellonomicon if you're against a lot of healing. For the runes I mentioned already, but Electrocute is core on Bard. Since your Meeps count as an extra stack towards Electrocute, all you need to do is auto attack once, then use your first ability, and then you'll be able to proc Electrocute, allowing you to deal damage throughout the game. You can either go for Psychic Wave or Scorch. I'm not really too sure which one is better. Both in general don't really give you that much damage. I think Psychic Wave is a little bit better because you can use your auto attacks and then follow up with your first ability, which is going to allow you to do more damage, whereas Scorch in general is not going to really help you that much with your auto attacks. It's going to help you with your first ability. So I much prefer Psychic Wave. Then you've got Empowered Attack. Of course, your auto attacks are going to be very important and deal bonus damage. This also makes you a very strong level 1 champion. Zombie Ward in general is very good when playing in the dual lane, since there will be a lot of wards roaming around, and if you can push the lane and kill these wards, then you'll be able to gain more ability power over time, which actually scales up to be a lot later on in the game. And also when you're roaming as well with Bard, you'll be able to use this on top of your sweeper to be able to hit wards and gain ability power over time. And as for the secondary rune, there are many different runes that you can go for the secondary rune. Bone Plating if you're against a lot of burst damage, but I like Perseverance, especially if you're against tanks with a lot of crowd control, or even any poke champions as well, like Sona, Zyra. In general, you just don't want to get crowd control with Bard. You are very squishy and you can die very quickly, so having extra tenacity in your kit means that you'll be stunned less throughout the game. And as for summon spells, of course, we're going to go for Flash. We can use Flash aggressively to try and land stuns with our first ability, or use it away to safety. And then we have Ignite, giving us more power during the laning phase and allowing us to snowball when roaming around the map. Onto the gameplay now with Bard, and Bard is going to be a very difficult champion, I feel like, to start things off for most people. If you haven't played PC League of Legends before, it's going to be very difficult to understand how you carry with him. When do you roam? When do you go and collect your chimes? And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this gameplay run through. Now at level 1, there's a little trick that you can do at level 1. You actually want to run out of base as soon as possible and get underneath your tower. As soon as you get underneath your tower, when the minions are about to spawn, you'll see here at 5 seconds, you actually have 2 chimes to collect before the laning phase even starts and before the minions even get to your lane. And because these chimes grant you experience, you can see that I'm going to be halfway to level 2 before the laning phase even starts, which is absolutely absurd. So you don't want to be AFK during the start of the laning phase because your chimes will always spawn close to you. So Jinx was a little bit late out of lane, but that's completely fine. But as you can see, all I need to do now is clear this first wave and I'll be able to get level 2 before anyone else in this bot lane, which is absurd. This is like zillion levels of experience in the early game. There you go. I mean, I didn't even need to clear all the minions in the first wave. We cleared 3 minions in that first minion wave and we got level 2 already, which is just absolutely crazy. Unfortunately, we weren't able to really take advantage of that. But when you're playing Bard, if you can take advantage of getting level 2 really early on like that, then definitely put that in. You'll definitely have that in your favor, which is going to be very important to playing aggressive and trying to outplay your opponents early on, because early on, Bard can be one of the strongest champions at level 1 and at level 2. You can see here with my auto attacks and my first ability, like you do some crazy damage with the runes because you have Electrocute, which is going to proc with your just 1 auto attack and your first ability thanks to your meeps. You then have Empowered Attack, you have Psychic Wave. You have so many runes where you'll be able to get a huge advantage during the lane phase, and walking up and auto attacking is just going to be so important. The question I think a lot of people will ask is, when is the best time to roam, or when is the best time to collect your chimes? In general, your chimes will generally spawn around you. You don't want to actually push too far up into lane. You see that a little bit of a downside at the moment, because I pushed a little bit too far in a lane. This chime is now in the enemy's bush, which is a little bit difficult to try and get to. But in general, you want to stand pretty far back because you want to make sure that your chimes spawn somewhat close to you. You can see there's a charm just up in the jungle now, so I can go and collect that if I want to. But in general, you just want to look at the general lane state. You know, if the enemies have pushed in the minion wave and your AD carries are underneath the tower, that's probably not the best time you want to roam. The best time you want to roam is situations like now, where Jinx is going to push in the wave. Jinx doesn't need to auto attack this tower. Instead, she can just, you know, play safe and stay back. And then this is my time to roam. I'm going to look to roam mid lane now. Didn't need to roam mid, but that's the opportunities that you need to find. As soon as you push that minion wave in underneath the enemy tower, it gives you an opportunity to roam around, to use your movement speed and to try and help out. Unfortunately, I got a little bit stuck here, a little bit caught here by the Evelynn, which was a little bit unfortunate. And my Veigar dies, which was a little bit unlucky, but yeah. Evelynn using flash there. Evelynn being able to escape was a little bit unfortunate, but that's what happens sometimes with Roman. I mean, especially against Evelynn. Like, Evelynn is so annoying as that kind of roam champion that's just always going to turn invisible. The only downside to this is I haven't gone back to base, but I think that's completely fine. I'm only really missing out on boots, but I can get boots at any time, to be honest with you. I don't think it's too bad that I missed out on going back for boots. I probably should have gone back. I mean, I was going back until Evelynn cancelled, and by the time Evelynn cancelled my base, I was like, well, I might as well get back to lane, which is exactly what I did. You can see how Jinx, I'm trying to place my second ability behind Jinx to try and wait until it goes up. Oh, this is a really good engage. First ability stun into the ultimate. The Jinx trap follows as well, and the Caitlyn is just CC'd for days. Really nice engage. When you can find angles on your first ability, it feels so satisfying. Like there, I was able to hit Caitlyn and the minion behind her, so she got stunned, and then follow that up with your ultimate as well, which is just such a satisfying combo to make, and one of the main reasons why Bard is such a great carry champion to play. And again, because my Jinx is now underneath the tower, I'm not going to go and walk and go and attack the tower. Instead, I'm going to go and collect my chimes and then go back to base. I could do it vice versa. I could go back to base first, which I think I should. I should go back to base first and then look to try and collect my chimes as I walk back to lane. But either way, it works, you know, completely fine. Either way around that you want to do it, both of them work fine. Waiting to base here for a little bit for gold, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and roam top here because the Aatrox is a little bit low, and My team might need a little bit of help. Nope, that's completely fine. But you see, look at this. As soon as you roam top, you know that your chimes are going to spawn top side. This is so important to always like screw in the back of your mind. Every time you roam, if you roam to bot lane, if you roam to mid, just bear in mind that your chimes might spawn there. So you always want to keep your eye on the minimap to make sure you know when your chimes are spawning and whereabouts are spawning. You see, one just spawned behind me, but I'm actually not going to go and collect that chime because the Jinx is, you know, in trouble underneath the tower. Again, great ultimate into Q again. Oh, it's just absolute cinema. And then oh my god, then I stunned the Leona as well off the minion, which is great. I think I even stunned the Leona a second time off this wall as well. This is why in general I love to build ability haste. I think with Bard, when you have ability haste, when your Q goes on low cooldown, I even got a second stun off there. For some reason, no one's using my portal to get over this wall, which is really annoying. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk back and I'm going to portal again. And surely someone will follow me, right? Surely someone will follow me and take the portal, right? Nope, they'll just walk the whole way around. They'll take the longer route, but either way, it still works. The amount of people that do not take Bard portal is just mind-blowing. Like, you see a portal, you could see that you could just follow and just dive the Caitlyn for free, but it's like, nah, let's walk the long way around. The reason why I've used the portal there is because I want to cut off Caitlyn. I don't want Caitlyn to escape, and if she tries to run away, my team can follow up with the portal. We can catch the Caitlyn, but for some reason, Caitlyn didn't want to try and escape there. Maybe a little bit scared of the portal. Maybe the portal was a bait the whole time. Who knows? But my team should have followed with the portal there to try and cut off the Caitlyn. But in general, it worked out pretty well. So we went to go and collect a chime. I haven't revealed myself here because I'm waiting for the perfect time to use my ultimate at the perfect time. And as soon as my ultimate comes off, oh, just look at that combo. It's, oh my god, it's so satisfying. The ulti into the Q combo. I flash Q the Leona as well. I mean, if this isn't a 5-star performance of Bard, I don't know what is. But this just shows you what Bard can offer. Like, me there ulting the Amumu and ulting the dragon meant that Evelynn wasn't able to ulti the Amumu in time. And as soon as Evelynn came back up, she got ultied by Amumu, she got Q'd by my stun, and then she had to use the ulti defensively to try and escape instead. But yeah, really, really smart there. I tried to heal the Amumu here. I wasn't able to heal the Amumu, unfortunately. I know that Yasuo has knock up, so I need to be a little bit careful. Nope. Should be fine now. I have my ulti soon. I can probably turn around here and use my ultimate behind. Yep. Oh my god, there we go. I actually kind of misplayed. Yeah. I should have walked upwards to Evelynn and then tried to stun down, but I thought my Q was long enough to hit the wall at the top here on this pit. I should have walked up towards the Rift Herald and I should have Q'd down to hit the bottom wall. That's a little bit of a mistake there, but hey, I'm talking about little things now, little mistakes. But you see how in general, I'm not focusing too much on my chimes. I'm just focusing on roaming. And when I have an opportunity to, I then go and collect my chimes. Like here, for example, like nothing's happened in the game. Everything's kind of normal right now. I can go back to base and I can go and start collecting chimes again. I probably should have collected chimes here instead of going back to base. But in general, that's fine because I can go and collect the chimes now anyway. I go crown second item this game because I'm against a lot of crowd control, you know, like Aatrox jumping onto me, Yasuo knock up, Leona crowd control as well. You know, all of these are really scary crowd controls to try and deal with. See, now I'm just going to go around and, you know, get some chimes now because I have basically nothing better to do. Look how fast you get as well when you collect all these chimes. Boom. The big point with chimes is you want to get to 23. 23 is the big point of Bard. If you get 23 chimes, then you have all the upgraded versions of your meeps, which is going to be very, very important. After you get 23, you collecting chimes is just basically upping your damage. Other than that, it's not really doing anything else. I'm trying to get my team to roam here. You can see how the Evelynn is completely isolated, so I'm trying to ping on my way so my team follows me. Like, I even stunned the Evelynn here. It's a free kill. Like, look how free this kill is, but unfortunately the rest of my team just didn't follow me. If I had like Amumu coming up and following me there, it would have been the freest kill of all time, but completely fine. Just being a little bit of a nuisance, I guess, to the Evelynn. There you go. I'm one charm away now from getting more chimes. Now, even though I ulted myself here, this is still really good to try and protect the Jinx. And that's exactly what I did. My whole focus there on my ultimate was, yes, if I hit myself, it's fine, but I'm trying to protect my Jinx, and I'm trying to make sure that she doesn't die. So in the end, I did my job. I ultied myself, which is probably not the best thing. I should have stood so close to Jinx. But in general, ulting myself there is completely fine as long as I can get, I can protect the Jinx and save her from dying. Run up to the top lane now, try and kill the Aatrox, and he flashes forward as well. I'm just gonna walk up here and auto attack and just wait for my first ability. Most of the time, you have to be very patient with your first ability because you don't want to waste it. Your first ability is such a crucial part to Bard's kit. Like, you don't want to walk up and then suddenly just use your first ability and waste it. You can see here, I'm trying to protect the oh my god, I'm trying to protect the Nautilus, and it's just absolute cinema. I flash forward to get the double stun as well. This Yasuo is a little bit annoying. That's fine. Oh, just perfection. I use the ulti again to save the Nautilus. I flash over the wall to make sure that I can close the gap, and as soon as they come out of stasis, boom, they're both double stunned again. It's just crazy how much like you can do with this champion. Stun the Caitlyn up against the wall as well. Oh, it's just absolute cinema in the end. Absolute cinema. Like, one of the biggest carry champions in the game. Like, this is a champion that I've been waiting for so long as support. Like, we've been needing a champion like Bard for ages in support. You know, we're bored of tanks, we're bored of enchanters. We need these carry style supports that can actually win games by, you know, outplaying and doing all these crazy plays. I'm trying to defend Annie here. I'm like, Annie, take the portal. Someone take them. Like, no one's taken the portal at all. It doesn't make sense. I put a portal right next to them. I'm like, guys, there's a portal right there. You want to like take it? You want to save yourself? Like, nope, they don't want to save themselves at all. I do have a lot of gold though. I think I'm getting a little bit too ahead of myself in this game, as well as commentating this game as well. I should go back to base. There you go. I have 2,500 gold. I probably should go back to base. But yeah, after 23 chimes, it's not that beneficial to collect chimes. Of course, one of the other big things as well is restoring mana. Bard's mana cost can be very high in the later stages of the game, especially if you're spamming your second ability to try and heal and try and get movement speed. You can see a lot of the time outside of laning phase, I'm not actually using my second ability behind me to try and heal allied champions. I'm using it more for the movement speed, because the movement speed is a lot more beneficial in the late game. You can see here again, I'm just trying my best to try and zone away the enemy champions, because obviously we're taking Baron. I'm using my okay, this is a really bad move, but it kind of worked out, right? Yasuo, oh my god, Yasuo missed everything. It kind of worked out. I was kind of scared for a second because I didn't realize that Yasuo was also there. I also stunned the Aatrox up against the wall, so he couldn't do any damage. Oh, it's just absolutely crazy. But yeah, as I mentioned, I'm using my second ability mainly on myself for movement speed, but on allied champions as well. Just make sure that I use it for movement speed around fights. You can see here how much movement speed I get with healing and everything as well. I'm going to the bot lane here to just make sure that I get some experience from these minions. And of course, I have a chime down here as well, so I want to try and grab that. I realized that my team is getting a little bit caught in mid lane. So look how fast I run, by the way. What is this? I'm going to use my ulti probably here mid. No, I think they got the tower completely fine. Yeah, I might actually use my ulti now though. Use my ultimate. There you go. Try and protect my team again. I should have used my E over the... I made a bit of a misplay here. I should have used my E to go over the wall instead of walking around. I just walked around the long way for like no reason at all. I stunned the Aatrox there, which is really nice. You see, I'm just using the second ability on the Mumu just to give it movement speed, and then back in onto the Caitlyn, and she netted away from my Q. Unlucky. I'm just look how much damage I'm doing to Caitlyn here, just walking up and just auto attacking her to death. Like I'm 1v1 in an AD carry in the late game. What is this? I'm 3-0-21 this game, by the way. This is might be one of the best Bard performances I will ever have in my life. Like, the carry potential of this champion is just absolutely crazy. And then I go back to collecting chimes. Because why not? I got nothing better to do. You can see at the bottom of your screen now, next to the Crown of Shattered Queen mark, I have 4 meeps. That's the meeps that I'm talking about. So the more chimes you collect, the more meeps you'll be able to get. I'm not too sure exactly what the ratio is. I think you get 2 meeps at 5. And then it goes like 10, 20, 30, I think. I'm not too sure exactly. Or it might be 15, 30. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it goes 5, and 15 and 30 for how many meeps you'll be able to get, I think. I haven't quite calculated that yet in terms of how many you get. I'm trying my best here to try and protect the Amumu, but it is a little bit difficult. Using a portal on the side to try and get onto the Caitlyn. Look at this. Oh my god. The flash double stun as well onto the Evelynn and the Caitlyn. Beautiful game. Absolutely beautiful. And you can see that timing when it comes to roaming with Bard is so important. You can see that I was trying to roam. I was trying to make plays in mid. I was trying to help my team out. But as soon as I realized that my AD carries on Deep Tower in danger, I go back to bot lane and I make sure that I try and save my AD carry at the same time. But it might take a little bit of time, as I said, for you to get used to Bard, because it's a champion that requires a lot of skill, MVP performance as well, which is great. And sometimes it requires your AD carry as well to also be on this kind of the same wavelength as you, because you're going to be roaming probably a lot. You know, sometimes you might be in laning phase quite a lot, but you're going to be roaming quite a lot. So your AD carry needs to be on the same wavelength and actually play passive. The problem with AD carries is that they push up 2 versus 1 and they get caught. And then they blame you as a support, even though they're pushing up to the middle of the lane when you have no support by your side. So it's also about supports playing safe. The AD carries playing safe as well. But look at that. 22,000 damage on Bard. Absolutely crazy. Most amount of damage. You can see my build in the end as well was the Imperial Mandate into Crown of Shattered Queen. I think I show my runes here as well. You can kind of see like my runes. Yeah, this is one of the games that I played Scorch and I realized that Scorch wasn't doing that much damage. I then played Psychic Wave a few games later and it was doing a little bit more damage, but in general it's mainly just Empowered Attack and the Zombie Ward. Of course I didn't clear that many wards this game, which was actually really bad, but you really want these 2 runes, Empowered Attack and Zombie Ward. So you just have to take one first rune that's going to do, you know, going to help you out a little bit. But look at Electrocute's damage as well. You are always proccing Electrocute. Like, it's so powerful. And then Bow Plane as well, of course, helps me with the protection. But yeah, my build in the end, I went for Talisman this game because I wanted to roam a lot more. Of course, Relic Shield is also fine. Mandate, Crown of Shattered Queen, and then your other items. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this run through of Bard and the guide for Bard. If you do have any questions about the champion, please let me know down in the comments. And as always, take care of yourselves and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.